Let's continue on the kashrus subject, but it's a different subject at all. It's a subject which is important, and a lot of people do not know exactly that it's so important. This is Nagai Lamasa, which is the main focus is going to be on sending food or leaving food with a non-Jew at home, in our car, delivering. But we have to start first with the halacha of basa shelos anam el ha'ayin, which is a different halacha, but it comes out from the same halacha of the sending food. I'm going to explain it. There is two things which we are going to discuss. First, basa shelos anam el ha'ayin. That means if you leave meat in a place with a non-Jew and you didn't see it, that means you weren't there to see that this is the same meat which you had left over there in the house, or in a store, or in a refrigerator. And you have goyim which are working over there. So that's one halacha. And basically, it could be in an office, it could be in a hospital, in a refrigerator, in a hospital, a public refrigerator, a public a refrigerator in a jail. All these things you leave over there. You have sandwiches, you have food over there. Could you eat it or you cannot eat it? This is halacha basa shelos anam el ha'ayin, is a halacha which is specific on meat, only on meat. That means fish and other things which we're going to see soon. When it comes to chasumas, you have to have, but basa shelos anam el ha'ayin is a zach. That means what is the touch? I'm going to use this term, so this is what I want to explain. Basa shelos anam el ha'ayin means meat which I didn't see with my eyes for a period of time. So that's the number one which we're going to discuss. Then from there we're going to go sending a delivery of food with a non-Jew or with not a frumiyit. Sending it, a pizza shop sending pizza, a butcher store sending meat, or anything which is, we're going to see what kind of food, sending it with a goy in a delivery. That's the number one. And that's not only meat. That's a thing which we're going to see now. Soon, there has a couple of foods which go into this category, yeah. Okay, so let's start. Basa shelos anam el ha'ayin, that means meat which you didn't see for a period of time, is a din midrabanan. What does it mean? It means, Chazal say, that you have meat, raw or cooked meat, which it was for a period of time not in the vicinity that the Yid should be able to see it, is a problem, as is a Eiser. Why? We are afraid that a animal or oyer of, what is called the oyer of ravens or rats, or might took this meat, took it away and brought other meat which he found outside by a non-kosher place into the bag. So since you didn't see it constantly, Chazal is geasert. Now the Gemara has a machlokas if there's a osir, if it's osir or not. Rav says, basa shelos anam el ha'ayin says, if you shu achas you didn't see it, it's osir. Why? Again, a very interesting chashash, that I'm afraid some animal, a dog, or anything took away this meat, ate over this piece of meat, and found another piece of meat and put it over there. It's a chukah. Rav, the Toysa says clear, it's a very, very far chashash, but still a chukah. Chazal said that it's aser. Because it's not a normal thing, but Chazal are geasert.
Maybe for animals it's not normal, for people to move it could be normal.
Okay, but we're going to see, over here is the ikid and the kid, the dafkis of animals. Levi said, one of the Atnom, he disagrees with Rav, and he says, we are not choishish of such a thing. We're not choishish of such a thing. There's no such a iser. So again, we have a machlokes. Rav says that is aser. Now, Chazal gave a iser. If it makes sense or not, I can put him today's day, it's not relevant. Oib Chazal, in that time, Chazal saw, and I assume Rav came with an Isser, Pshat as he saw, that there was such a Chashash. So therefore, there is an Isser today's day too. Let me just finish. We're going to get to the halachas. Again, as I mentioned it, when we get ending the sheet, there's questions, I'll answer. Everything is going to be addressed, I assume. Then Levi said that no, there's no such a Isser, not a Chashash. What is the halacha? How do you pass? So every machlokes are Rishonim. The Rif, the Ramban, the Rabbi Nechananel, the Rambam, all paskin like Rav. There is an Isser of Boser Shlos Alam in Ayin. And this is how the Mechaber paskins. The Mechaber Yeridai Simon Samach Gimel, which that's the Simon of Boser Shlos Alam in Ayin, says the Mechaber, yes, any meat which you didn't see, that means you have, for instance, meat in your house on the counter, and you left the house to go shopping, you're coming back, you have a problem with this meat. We're going to see when not, but I can put them b'pashtas. If you have meat over there, you have a problem. As they're passing the mechaber. But there's other Rishonim, Rasha, the Ram, the Motcha, which is passing like Levi, and we don't have an issue. We don't chashash, and it's fine. Lamas, the mechaber paskin is a problem. The mechaber paskin is aser. The Remu says we should take the third shitta. There's a third shitta which says makes a chilik. It says like this: if you found the meat the same place where you put it, if you put it on the counter and you came back 3 hours after shopping and the meat is the same place where it is, nothing was moved, then I don't have an issue, even if most of the butcher shops in that town is non-Jews. And even there's no simon, and even there's no tvis ayin, I don't care. Since you found it of the same place which you put it, it's not a problem. Before the shittas of the mechaber, which holds it also, holds, again, if you have a simon, we're going to see in a minute, it's not a problem. That means if you have the meat is packaged in a simon, in a package which has the label, the kosher sticker on it, it's not a problem. The challah dies. We're talking about a meat which is taken out already from the piece from the package. It's a piece itself. But so again, we have the Rambam and the Ramban holds that it's osir. The Rasha and the Mordcha hold in the Ran holds that this paskin v'leiv is not a problem. And the third shitta is the shittas Harashbam, which holds that it depends if it was moved or not. If it was not moved, we have no issue. Since I put it over there and I see it in the same place, I have no issue, and therefore it's fine. The Mechaber paskins again, lahachmir, like Rav, this is how the Sfardim, that's why they're more machmer. I can put in most of the Sfardim. There are some Sfardim which are more lenient. The Michael, auch like the Remu. But I can put in the Remu paskins, no, we don't have to be that machmer. We could paskin like the Rashbam, and this is how the Remu paskins. The Remu paskins, that if you put it on a place, and he saw it in the same place, even if most of the butchers are a goyim, Afa pekan, so there's more chance that there's in the town more non-kosher meat. Afa pekan, it is okay since it wasn't moved. In the Remu zukt, the meaning is looking. So going back practically in our case, you left your house and you came back and you have the meat in the pot or on the counter. You want it should you took it out from the freezer. You want it should be able to cook it. And it's not in the package, since it's on the same place, it's not a problem. If it's not on the same place, you're going into problems. You found it in a different room, or you found it, somebody moved it, then you're going into problems because you have a problem. Somebody had moved it, maybe the other meat is gone, and this is not a kosher meat. Except, again, if you have a simon, you know exactly how the cut. There was a cut. It's a piece of cut, a piece of steak, which you know exactly how it looked, and it's not it's not a regular cut. You have the simon, tzvi's ayin, or you have a choisem. A choisem means you have it's still in the package. That's fine. Other than that, if it's moved, you have a problem. That's the chashash of boser shelos alam in ayin. You were at a house, and that's only my boser. You didn't see it constantly. This is this halacha. Because again, which the chashash is of shrutzim, of animals, or the other objects which could change meat. Now there's a second halacha. The halacha is, if you give over for a goy to deliver food, that will also be if you leave a kitchen with the goyim the goy is a chef, and you leave a kitchen with a goy, that means you are leaving it. Before you have your house and left in the house alone, that's Bush Shalom Salman. Now this is the second cheshbon is giving over food in premises of a goy, which he's a chrui, so to speak. He delivers it, he cooks it, he's in charge of it. And over there, Chazal had a different chashash that we are afraid the goy will change it. Not an animal will come and change it. A goy will basically take, he liked this piece of meat which you bought, by Agri, a nice, beautiful piece of tongue, and he'll eat it or take something, and he'll buy a non-kosher meat, which is much cheaper and much not so good as the kosher meat, or maybe he's into health, and the Jewish food has a name as very healthy, so therefore he's going to change it. So therefore there's an extra chashash, which there is. This chashash is by a goy, or even by a Yisroel chushet. If you have a Yisroel which is chushet to do such a thing, that's also a problem. And that's not only busser. We have two kinds of foods which you have to have. In that only you have to have a choisam. If you send it or you leave it, you have to have a choisam. So we have two kinds of classes of food. One class of food is you have to have two chesumas. It's not enough one choisam, one marker that is Jewish, it's kosher. You have to have two chesumas. The second class of food is enough one choisam. And the simon is like this. The abbreviation of chuviyas, ches beis yutov, is all the food which you need to have two chesumas, which ches stands for chatichas dag, a piece of fish. Beis stands for basar. Yayin, yud stands for yayin. In sof tov stands for tcheles. Tcheles, which you put on the tzitza, is very expensive. You could buy tcheles, which is very cheap, which is not from that fish, which is a tcheles, not tcheles. So, not from chalozen. So therefore, people were changing it. People were stealing it, changing it. As Rashi brings down that anishiv chamti mein tcheles lebein kala ilan. So therefore, if somebody sends tcheles with someone else, has to have two chesumas. So again, it's fish, wine, meat, and tcheles. Chuvias. It does apply. Today's day it applies already again because you have the Israeli, the Breslev, a lot of people who are. Yeah, they have. Of course, they have two chesumas. Yeah, they package it with two chesumas.
Maybe I'm not so understanding. A regular meat and buy in the store, it's just a piece of plastic on top of it.
Has what?
It's just plastic on it wrapped around it.
Let's assume there's a plastic. There has to be. We'll see. Chosim has to be that when you open it up, we will see that it's opened. That's one chosim. Then you have the other chosim. So, ostaka, what is the second chosim? Is the sticker on it. It's a non-removable sticker. So automatically, even to vacuum pack it itself is already ochta chosim. That's one chosim. And then you're putting on top of it a sticker that's ochta chosim. But in some machmarochtas, the boxes should also have a chosim. But be'etzem, a vacuum packed package of meat which has a sticker on top, or most of the time, a lot of times it's underneath. And today's day they make it hologram because you don't want you should be able to be mezayef. That's called shtei chesumas.
How's it wrapped and stick on top? Why is that two chesumas instead of one?
Because the eitzim vacuum packed, if you take it off, you can't put it back in. You have to have a machine in order to vacuum pack it. Saran wrap, you could see if you take off a saran wrap, you cannot put it back.
You can put it back on.
The what?
The new one, put it back on.
You have to take a new one and to have a choisim. The eitzim zach, if you take it off, that's it is. It is new and not. Now one choisim you could be mazayif. Once you have two, that should be fine. Okay, that's called chuvias. You need two chesumas. The second class of food which you need chesumas is called champak, ches mem pai gimel, which is cholov, cheese, milk, dairy stuff, moris. Moris is a fish sauce, some kind of fish sauce, which it's made, you can put in non-kosher fish, so therefore it has to have a choisem. Third one is pas, and fourth one is gvina. So again, it's chulov, murias, pas, and gvina. This is only, you need one choisem is enough. You have one choisem, that should be fine. Why is, we'll ask later.
What's murias?
Murias is some kind of fish, I don't know.
Meaning that all fish needed also. Same for fish.
Fish needs two chesumas. This is a food which has some kind of fish inside. It's mixed together with fish, or it's cooked, or it's a fish sauce. I don't know what it is. It's some kind sour gemoisacht with people used to eat. I don't know the recipe. Maybe what?
Tuna salad or
Tuna itself is fish. Tuna is fish. I'm talking a food which has inside in it, it's cooked with fish, or it's made with some kind sauces, something like that. Roitev dugim, that's some kind of fish sauce. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this class of food needs to have two chesumas, and why the other class is enough one choisem. Now, Rashi is because the first class which needs two chumas is more an expensive item, so a goy will go the extra mile in order to be mazayef a choisem. So therefore, Chazal said you have to have two chesumas, because if not for one choisem, he's still going to go out and try to be fake it. The other Rishonim do not agree with Rashi, and they say, again, I don't know exactly what it is, but they say the murayas, the fish sauce, is a very expensive thing. So you see, even though it's expensive, it's enough for one choisem too. So therefore, that's not the reason, because it's more expensive or not expensive. And Toysus gives a different reason. The reason is the first class of which needs two chesumas are iser atzmoi, is the essence of the iser. Fish is aser, meat is aser, yain is aser, chayles, all these things is the zach, the essence. If you change it, it's aser. So therefore, you have two chesumas. Mashang in the second class, which is cholov and gvina and marayas, fish sauce, and it's mixed together. It's betarivas. Since it's betarivas, can the ook zijn in different bittel, so therefore it's going to choisem eichet. Now the question begs, if there's the reason, what's wrong with pas? Pas is basically isar atzmon. It's pasakim. So the reason is pas is something else, because it's only a drabonon. Although taka is a isar atzmon, but some of the drabonon is actually for drabonon. That's Toysus Shita. Again, Toysus Shita is that the reason the kid said the word is isar atzmi, the essence of an isar, or it's mixed together. Cholov is also the cholov the chashash. Maybe he mixed in cholov tuma. It's not. No, cholov tuma, because you could see it. You could see in Gemara says cholov tuma has a different color, has a yellowish. You could see it's the only chashash he mixed in. That's Toysus Shita. Then is the Shittas Harashba. In this Halam Chaba Paskins, it has to do with expense, doesn't have to do Isar Atzmi, has to do a Daraisa or the Drabuna. The first four is a Isar Daraisa, the second is Isar Drabuna. Although Yayin, or we're talking about Yad Stam Yainam, Stam Yainam also needs two Chesumas, Stam Yainam is only a Drabuna. Zukshan of the Drashoinam, that Yain Stam Yainam with extra Isar, because the Goyim were very into the wine. This is Mera. This is kurev to their religion using wine. So yain, although it's not a derbunan, hat man es reingepusht in you need two chesumas. But to sum it up, and as we pass the machaber, anything which is easy to remember when the guys on halacha, anything which is a isur daraisa, you'll need two chesumas. Anything which is isur darabanan, choisem echet should be enough. Therefore, meat, fish is a isur daraisa. Therefore, you have to have tuchasumas. Other things, cholav akim or gvinas akim, all the other things are isad rabunan. Hat man Michael gewein. What?
Having straight milk is Esther Darbanan, or worried that's
No, we are worried that maybe it was mixed in. Chazal ham geasad gvinna because maybe it mixed in. So it's a isad rabunan. We don't avade gvinna non-kosher milk. Avade is the rice. But the chashash for gvinna, a cheese or milk, is maybe, it's a chashash maybe. So therefore, is this the what? How is? Because it's a mitzvah deraisa.
If you wear your dress.
No, if you wear, nein, the word is a mitzvah, it's a zach, it's a tchayl is a deraisa the gedim. So if you change it, is it? The word is isra oder nicht. The word is a deraisa der rabun, wie gesagt, ja. This is the Rambam, this is the Suras Rambam, and this is how the Shechanuk Paskins. So that's stuff. Anytime where you have a pizza shop. Anytime you have a pizza shop which sends a thing, has to be a choisem. If it doesn't have a choisem, it's awesome. Any butcher is going to send and it doesn't have a two chesomas, or a meat shop doesn't have two chesomas, it's a deraisa. It's not awesome. Now fish, remember, it's a little bit different because fish, if you have the skin, then you can see if it's kosher or not kosher. But then we're talking about fillet fish, or we're going to see grinded fish, gefilte fish. They have kind of things which such a kim. Okay, now the ikra din, anything which has two chesumas, if it's a deraisa, or the one choisum, it says drabonan, you don't have to check if it is if it's broken. That means if I send a box of pizza home to someone else's home and it has a tape, which on the tape has a choisum, alles feine voil, I don't have to ask and call up the person who gets the pizza or the pizza. I don't have to ask him, if the choisum is still good. I assume, since I have a choisum but drabonan, I have two chesumas but deraisa, we assume that basically it's not a problem. Now, if you see that it's open, if you see the choisum is broken, it's awesome. But I'm talking, you don't have to go and see it. I'm sending as long as I send a package and have two chesumas, we assume the guy will not tamper with it. The guy sees two chesumas, he's not going to tamper. Now, maybe a child got the package and he opened it, and when the mother comes home and it says, "Where's the bag? I threw it out there in the garbage." No problem. As long as the store says, "I send you two chesumas," it's fine. You don't have to be choishish. Kemiven zoekt about the shach. Although that's the lalocha, it's kedai to be boidek if it's fine.
So what's the point of it? What's the point of it if you're not checking?
The point of it is the goy should be afraid. The goy sees there's two chesumas, so the goy avada. The goy says, no, you don't hide chesum. You put chesumas that he sees. So therefore, the goy will not tamper with this because he sees there's chesumas and he's afraid.
If you see it comes broken, it's a problem.
That's a problem. If you see it's come broken, we're going to get to it a little bit more in this. When you don't have to go after. Zukt aber the pritoyer. The pritoyer is the Rechaim HaKudosh. He has a sefer of Yeridaya, and it says that's all. The Pri Chudosh is masking with him too. That's only in places. He says like this. That's only ba'anshai Edom, but in the Western countries. It's over there. If there's a choisam or whatever, then you don't have to check for it. So the bought in the Artes HaMizrach, that means with the Arabs, with the alles and the bluffers, and I would say we're talking about, let's say, in China, which we know, that in China you cannot trust. I heard from one of the mashgichim of a big national mashgich kashas. He says, when we go make a product in China, we have to have mashgichim all over because you turn around and they do whatever they want. There's no mirsas by them. There's no nothing. So in such a case, you have a product which comes from China, or you have in Arab countries over there, you have to check because they have no problem to be mezayif. Also is the pritoyer in the Pri Chudosh. It's an shakrunim, that's the word, mamash azoi. So therefore, in our days, a regular goy who sees he tampered with the stuff, he's not going to take it. So therefore, he's not going to tamper. So therefore, you don't have to be boidik. But even in our area, zuk the shach, it's kedai to be boidik. So when you get a package, if you know this is a package which is always the store makes sure to make two chasumas, Not necessarily that if you didn't see the choisem, it's a problem. Kemivn kedai, you should look. But again, once you see it's tampered, it's broken, then it is a problem. When? If you cannot say that it's probably got broken because of delivery. For instance, a person buys a JJ Karas cheese. JJ Karas cheese in the store, a moti. You open up the lid, you see there's a, whatever, all those things. You see it's tampered, it's opened a little bit. Such a case, or even the package itself, you could say, if you could see that during the delivery, a pallet, and during delivery, the outside package got ripped, in such a case, it could be toilet. If there is a thing which you can say that by delivery, it happened, or even a child took it off, that's something else. But other than such a thing, you cannot be toilet such a thing, then you have a problem if you see something which is not, doesn't have choisim. So now, 1 second. So now, let me just make it clear. When you go to a gas station, and it's a very important halacha, which is the guy, very important. People go on the Palisades Parkway. Yeah, if you know the Palisades Parkway, there's a gasoline station, a goyish gasoline station. They sell a lot of Jewish food. They want to have Jewish people should buy coffee. Want to have Jewish coffee. People don't realize. They go in the store and they see he has kosher milk. So what do? You take a coffee, but it's asr. Because that's one of the things which needs to have a choisem. Chulav. Chulav is one of the things which needs to have a choisem. If the lid is broken, you're not the first one to open the bottle, then basically, automatically, it's also to use. So therefore, you have to realize such a thing, that just because it has a Jewish bottle, does not mean it's okay. It's not okay. It's very easy for him to buy once a bottle of Golden Flow milk, and which is cost $2.95, $3.95, and he can buy real milk which costs 99 cents for half a gallon and refill it, and he gains. We're going to see soon. He has to gaining. So therefore, these are people do realize has to be a choisim. Another thing, whenever you get a delivery from a store, which you have to make sure taka as sikimim mitagoy, it was proper packaged. And sometimes, as I said already the story, one of the shluchim called me erev simchas toyer, erev shmini atzeres, that he got a whole package of whole simcha is a shliach, so he bought a lot of the simchas toyer for the verbringen, meats, all kind of things. There was no choisim in it. What should he do? And there's no way I was looking for all the attire. You can see a lot of attire. We have attire, but we didn't have any attire. So I told him, I don't see attire. Call the mashgiach of the place. And I was sitting 15, 20 minutes looking for attire. That mashgiach picked up the phone and he told him the story. He says, you got it without a choisem? Throw it in the garbage. You can't use it. Should the company know? It doesn't work like that. Happens to be somebody donated the Monsi, the last minute, the restaurant which was before Yontas, he left over. It's delivered. But I noch meine Beziehung, it's the ernste Chashush. It's not a joke.
How strong does the clear need to be?
What?
How strong does the clear need to be that comes from the...
It has to be, which is reglaim. You see, it came a pallet of stuff, and you see one is ripped. You see, you realize that it happened from itself. This is tuli takel shikladas. Okay. Now, let's see what is the hatayram, how we could, because it's not so easy to say for somebody to throw it away. So we have to look, what kind of hatayram do we have?
I'm sending you a package of cookies like this to your house, open like this.
Yes.
Problem?
Why not? But a goy?
Why am I not worried a guy is gonna, yeah.
Why shouldn't he eat it? And now and you realize, oh, yes, and here's I have to bring it, he goes out and buys the same package and he gives you back. Why shouldn't he do it?
Is there any problem with this?
Yes.
Why? There's no milk.
That's pass. No, pass. That's pass.
So what would?
That's
is
pass.
there anything that's good?
Cake is a parting of pass. Yeah, vegetables is okay.
Well, vegetables, fine. But I'm saying
Vegetables or anything
so
which.
Food, no baked food is okay.
No what?
No.
Baked food, cooked food, no. What?
Candy, sugar.
Yeah, da steht nicht, dass Candies get schon gehen.
What's that? It can be mixed. Stay mixed with it.
What?
So you say chol gvino, when where you may mix it, not kosher with it.
The Gwinne could be non-kosher.
And the candies do not.
Es steht nicht, jede Frucht, jede Macht kann man da allein sagen. You don't put milk in cheese in a candy. You know,
Understand, but what's the problem with having milk? Maybe you mix it
maybe he mixed in non-kosher milk, yeah.
That's non-kosher milk or non-kosher?
Not kosher?
Anything. You think it's not kosher.
No, not kosher milk. Dus de chashash van gewinnen. Gewinnen is akemam gezal geassad. Because, ich habe moira, was soll es gehen, andere Sachen?
So I sent you a bowl of candy that's opened.
No wrapper at all.
No wrapper at all. But I opened it at my house, I poured it in the bowl, and I put it over to your house.
I wouldn't have eaten it.
You wouldn't eat it, but why not?
Nogmaals, it's not one of these things. Exactly. It's not one of these. Okay. Yeah. What I'm saying, the time we're going to see some ways. No, let me go. I'm about to end with questions. Okay, there's a couple of attire which we could be lenient with the poskim bring. Now there are a few attire. Some attire will only be when in a scenario when the goy is bebait Yehudi. That means a cleaning lady in Jewish house. Some will be a heter only when by delivery, and some will be something if you store something in a goyish place. Yeah, you store something in a goyish place, you have the selber problem. So there's everything has different attire, which we're going to see. And some of it as the kitchila heter, and some of it is only by the evet heter. So let's see the first thing. There's a shittas ha'rabbinitam, a very important rabbinitam, which we use it when we need, some kind of a item. Rabbinitam says that when do you need shtei chesumas? Only if you send it with a Jew which is choshed. Because a Jew which is choshed knows he's Jewish, so nobody is going to think that I'm gonna switch something, but he's choshed after doing it. So therefore, in such a case, there's a problem. But if you have a goy, which sends a delivery, which is through a goy, zuk rabbinitam, with one choisim is enough, even by the deraisa. First, afil by the deraisa. Without no choisim, even by goy, there's no problem, it's osir. But if we have one choisim, even it's a deraisa, if it's a goy, it's better than if it's a yid, which is a goy, which is a chushet. That's shittas rabbinitam. The Remu brings it, b'shem ayashomram, and it finishes, b'de'evet yashlismach al zeh. That means if it happens such a thing, a person sent meat with a goy and had only one choisam, you could rely that in such a case, b'de'evet, you don't have to throw it away, you could use it because it has one choisam. If it has no choisam, you have to throw it in the garbage. But if it had one choisam, since it's a goy, then you could rely by the Evid. What? A Yida Choshe is Osher. This is the Rabbanis Tam's ofter. But Tam wants to say, the Iker was Madgaast in the Mamorgat Yisroel Chushet, nicht a goy. A goy is more, in a way, more than a Yisroel Chushet. And the Ramu says, we could rely on it by the Evid if it has one choisam. Then, there's another poiskim, Toisvus, which says, when do you need shtuch chsumas? When do you need tuch chsumas by the Reise? Only when you send something and you're not going to see it. For instance, if I send a package for someone else, a store sends a package to a person at home, a delivery. So the store sends it, the store is not going to see what came. I'm sending it, and the person who lives there, he gets it. So I will never see what's going on. Such a case, you need shtuch chsumas. If I'm putting it in, I'm storing it in something in a goyish house. I'm putting it in a goyish house. I'm leaving for vacation for 2 weeks, and I have expensive wine, expensive meat, expensive stuff. And I said for the goy, do me a favor. Here you have the key, or I'm putting it in your house, and watch it. Zuk Rabbainitam in such a case, you don't need to chesumas. Why? Because you're going to come back, and you're going to see that choisam. So therefore, when I'm sending it and I'm not going to know what's going on, then we are afraid because the guy knows he's not going to see it. I'm dropping it off in that family's house. He's not going to see what I did. So he might be tampered with this chesumas. But if he knows the yid is coming back to him and he's going to take it back, so always when the yid will see the chesumas, you could rely, it should be enough with one chosim. Again, it has to be one chosim, but one chosim. Without a chosim is garbage.
It's a sad point, but when they finish delivering and they take a picture, is it considered that you saw it again?
The what?
When they finish delivering and they take a picture,
and they send it back? That's
no, and they send you the picture.
They send me the picture.
That's considered like
that's considered I'm going to see it. Yeah. Now the Machaber brings down die zwei Sachen. The Machaber brings down this shit of Rabbi Tam B'Shem Yesh Omrim. Yeah. In Lamasa, Zug the Machaber, when will I rely on this swore of this Toisvus? I'm not taking it for face value, Toisvus, but I will take it if it is a goy. That means, Yisroel Chushet, I will not rely. Yisroel Chushet is such a big problem, in such a case, I'm not going to rely. But if it's a goy, and he knows that I'm going to see the end product when he gives it back, then you could rely. So we have a second heter if somebody delivers something and you have, or takes a picture, or for what other reason, for any reason, the manager or who sent the stuff will know what was going on, then you could rely if it's a goy. What? If it was sent. Like Tchila, you shouldn't rely on such a thing, but a kapunim, in such a case, you could rely on it.
You without any chosim?
No, but not without a chosim. One chosim.
One chosim is broken.
No.
You said there were two chosamas.
Yeah.
And one is broken. Is that...
You said it to Yisroel Chushet?
Yeah.
That's a problem. Huh? A goy haben wir doch schon geschmiest. A goy haben wir doch schon geschmiest, als bei der Evet kann man sich verlassen auf allein ein Nochri. No, if there is one choisam, then if there are two and one is broken, it's worse. If there's two and one is broken, it's worse. Why is it worse? You still have one choisam. You always have that choisam. No, if by one he could tamper, he could fix it, then what is the difference? So you open it, then it's hidden. It's too obvious. Again, the kid said the word is one choisam by a goy, but the Eved you could be Michael. The other thing is, which you could also be Michael, if, like you said, if I be Madia, what is the tziras choisam? If I say for the guy, listen, I'm sending you a order, and it's going to be the choisam is going to be exactly, this is going to be the correct. I wrote on it that word, that's the code word which it's on it. In such a case, is er auch machbar, halt man auch a poskem as Mikel Michael san in such a case. That means again, when we said if you see it, if not see it. If you see it, what did we just say? The Machaber says, if you're going to see it, then you can be Michael. If you're not going to see it, you're not be Michael. Zukt of them, the Shach, that if you are going to tell for the guy who, even though if you don't see it, the store which sends the package will not see the end product, but he sends, like you said, he sends a picture what the choisem is, or he tells him you should know, which this is how they did in the school, that they made the clothes when they sent from the English to from the boys to the girls, from the girls to the school to the boys school, or to the Besifta. Usually they have a lak and have a choisem. And David used to tell to the people, this is how it's going to come. Make sure it's like that. Such a case, the goy knows that basically it gets reported over there. Such a case has keili that the Yid himself saw it. So basically, reporting for him what the choisem is as if you come back and you see it. So there's another way how to be lenient when it happens. Then there's another heter, which is a very important heter, but you have to know when to use it. Yes. Then you have a heter, even when you run a choisem, in a case when einen nehele b'chalim. And that's a very important heter. If the goy had no reason and he has no gain whatsoever to change it, there's no reason that he should change it. He has no gain with it. Then we are not choished that he's going to change it. Akapunam, in the Evet, it's mitra without choisem, without any choisem. He asked before.
Choshen.
The what?
So Choshen.
Srur Chushid Yah, Mabal Zin Favus. Amen Nachmanit. Vamret a goy, again, so you have a goy which has no reason, he doesn't gain anything by being Machlav Zan to non-kosher. In such a case, you're going to be Michael if he has no choisem, but the Eved, no choisem, or was broken. Even none of it. There's no choisem at all. But the Eved, you could be Michael. Now, B'derech Klal, we don't say, what's the concept of this heter? We don't say a goy was just like that being machal someone else. A normal person is not going to take a kosher piece of meat and change it to a non-kosher piece of meat. It's not going to do. Why should he do it? Just because, just for the kick out of it? Again, it's not so far-fetched. There's a famous story in the airplane, which a Yid got his package and was broken, and he didn't want to eat it, and kids at the end, basically a goy said that I changed it, I wanted to see how you're going to react, whatever, story. But again, that's not a normal thing. A normal goy will not go and change, so therefore, but the Eved, we are going to take. But if he has any hano with it, if he has any raivach, even a small raivach, any gain, then shana chashash. Then shana chashash. Except a goy, if you know that he's an anti-Semite and wants to be machshul, that's something else. But a regular goy will not have no problem, but only if he has any gain. He has any gain, what? What does that mean? What does it mean having any gain? He has, I know exactly what I bought. I know I bought a bit of juicy meat, and the meat which came to me, this is the lushaf in the poiskin, came to me is the same juicy meat. So why should a person go and take a non-kosher piece of meat and change it? He doesn't gain. If I bought a juicy meat and I see it's not as juicy as it is, then he has gain.
Non-kosher is cheaper.
Good, it's cheaper, but it's the same quality. Why should he want to change?
Because it's kosher meat.
Why doesn't he kosher meat? A goy from kosher meat.
He's going to sell it as.
But nobody's going to buy from a goy kosher meat. So therefore, what does he gain if he takes a tongue, a nice juicy tongue, and he changes it with a goyish juicy tongue? So if I see it's a lower class of meat, it's not so good, then because he gains. He ate a nice juicy meat, and he switched it with some kind of second class meat. But anything which this is the illusion with the poiskim mezug. In such a case, but that's only if it's a raw piece of meat. You have a piece of meat, you have a nice cut, and you change it. You're right. But when you have cooked food, even if the same as what you saw, there is still a reason that we should say that he changed it. Why? Because he's a delivery. He's all day. He's sitting on the street and he's delivering pizza for a pizza shop. Or he's delivering it for a restaurant. Now he got hungry. Comes a time during the day he's get hungry. So when they go in the back and he took a piece of meat or took a piece of pizza, he ate it, and then one second. I was starved and I ate it, but basically, I have to fill whatever I need to do. So the last order of the day, I'm going to go into McDonald's and buy a Domino pizza, who sells pizza. I'm going to buy a goyish pizza and put it back. So he gains. Why? Because at least it's like the same pie, the same juicy, everything the same. But now I can eat something. I can eat during the day. I'm delivering for bagels bread. Yeah, Stern's bread, bagels bread. Yeah, and now I got hungry. So now I ate. I ate. Now 1 second. I have to fill it. There's a list how much I need to deliver. So he goes out to a goyish bakery, and buys a piece of bread, puts it back in the bag, and sells it. Do washing again, even if it's the same quality of the wood, but it's a different because now you will say, I don't know if it's practical. If it's edible. It's an edible thing. Exactly. Anything a piece of cake, cooked meat, bread, knickknacks, all the knick-knack, what is it called? Hot dogs, all these kind of things. Yes, he's going to do it. That's called that he has a noah. Because he might be hungry. He might take it and then fill it up. So therefore, we cannot use this heter clear cut, because I know a lot of people say, what does he have in the hand of a chalik? What does he gain by changing it? Yes, he gains his fill. He got full. He got full.
So that's ready to eat, but it doesn't fill up.
What? Cake doesn't fill a person up? What does that mean?
This guy's selling slices, you can give him a pack of cheese.
What? He ate
Cream
cheese.
cheese that's opened. You're worried the guy ate it?
Noch the minute was he chash that he was hungry and he ate, he had a roll and he decided he's going to eat. Yeah, he wanted to eat it. It's edible. He wanted to eat it. Yeah. No. Again, don't have to andere Sachen because if you have a JJ box. Yeah, okay. We get it. So therefore, it's not so posh this whole heter of eine Hände bechalip. But if it is taka raw meat, eine Hände bechalip. Yes, it's not a problem. You could dry in it. I can put it with David. It's not machloek if you rely on this even einen Hände bechalip even like tchilo and hat. But la masse the marit, the sharadai, the arkechiva, they hold the tchilo zam sich verlassen. But there are points which want to say einen Hände bechalip is a filla a heteroch. A heter filla kitchilo. So
What happens if it's like cooked thing but it's frozen?
Okay, so it's not edible.
That would be considered not.
Yeah, that's can be unedible. I think which is edible, a person is hungry and ate, and then he could be. By the way, in such a case, there's no andere heter. It's a good idea to know it. A solution. Whenever you say for the goy, deliver the cake. If you're hungry, you could eat from there. If you're hungry, eat, take. Have a truck full of cake. Make your deliveries if you're hungry. So now there's no hand b'chalip. Why should he want to change? He has the right to eat. So therefore, that's one of the things which is kedai. Companies should tell for the person, you could eat if you're hungry. So therefore, he has no reason to be machal. Then there's another reason which is also important thing which
but he still delivered.
What?
If he eats, when was he going to pick up more and deliver?
Yeah, if he has the right to eat, then he has the right to eat.
If he doesn't have the right to eat, he might swap the piece.
He might swap, but if he has the right to eat, he's going to eat. Now, usually when the balbos tells you you have the right to eat, it's not packaged ready. He has in the truck, rice buns, has all kind of, he can eat. So automatically, he doesn't have to steal. Another heter, which is in the poskem, is if it's mavel arab. It's auch the choshev heter. Mavel arab. That means if he's a delivery from the butcher block, from the deli. He delivers it has an address. He has to go with his bicycle. He goes and delivers it to James to whatever address. So he goes b'mukam mavel arab. People will see his basket, what he has over there. He sees he's delivering, and if he's going to go eat something and buy different and change it, people will see. And even mavel arab going, even if it's not, it is. I feel arab going because he's always afraid the guy will tell for I saw your delivery guy ate, and it's a problem.
So the only thing he goes, he went that way.
I don't know anyway. I know he is a delivery where he delivers over here, let's say in a bite. The poskim say no difference in the but it's a maver larab. People will see him. People know and see what he does. Zugav dem dachroinem. That's good. This heter will be good if a person goes with a bicycle, or he goes with a motorcycle, or he goes like in the Brooklyn. You have this shopping cart, or this this bicycle which has a. Then you could have. If you have a car, if you have a truck delivery. This heter will not apply because you go in the truck. You do whatever you want. Nobody sees you. But akapunam, if it is in a matzav that you have a delivery guy, pizza, because in pizza usually they deliver it in bicycles, especially in Manhattan, because you cannot drive with a bicycle. You have a special front. So in such a case, a Yiddish pizza store in Manhattan, which delivers that way, falls away the heter, and the mavel ram is even at night. If it's not at night when there's no people. But if you have people are still walking, even it's goyim, the guy is afraid to change it.
Let's say the guy's driving in, you put in the guy's trunk. So now for him to get it, he has to go out of his car and go to his trunk. Is that considered a bicycle?
You mean he goes out of a trunk and has to open the trunk, but people can see what's going in the trunk?
No, after you put it in his car. But you right now you put it in his trunk. So now for him to get the pizza, he has to go out of his car.
He can go out of the car, but you don't see what he's doing.
We're going to see what he's doing with the pizza. taking it for the trunk, putting it in their car.
Okay, kann sein, that's more than a shiny Sache. Kann sein as a fall. Such a case, okay, you're right. But if it has, he could have access to it without nobody seeing it, then is nicht kan heter. But the Machaber sucht even such a case, Mavel Rabben, it should be like Kitchila. It should be all b'de'evet. Now, all this attire which you are saying is when we have such a shaila. You have a shaila, somebody delivered something, what do I need to do? Then you use all this attire. But like Kitchila, you have to have chesumas. Adraisa, two chesumas, adrabon. One choisem has to be. And I always say people, if you get anything from one of these kind of things, milk or the pizza, which is no choisem, send it back. Send it back. In a store, which you're going to see 3 people, 4 people is going to send back, is going to start being careful to put chesumas. But again, if there's no choisem, 2 minutes is shas. But the Eva taka in such a case that you ate it in the Hosgada item, fine. But send it back. That's alles is not. But the Eva is not like
all of this about delivery.
I'm talking now. We're talking about delivery. Yeah.
This head that you just said, even if it's not even one person.
Which one?
The head that you just said about walking around.
Fila unachoisem. Yeah. Okay, now, laten we gaan water. When you have a store which makes deli, for instance, yeah? A deli, for instance, this deli. Now, Baruch Hashem, we have to back a yid. But the Kapurim before, a period of time, you had a goy. Yeah, and the goy is a chef. Now, you have over there meat, you have over there all kind of stuff. What? If it's brought in Rechesomas, it's a big problem. So it's do another heter yoytze van echtes. That means, if the yid closes the refrigerator, he closes the kitchen, and the yid opens the refrigerator, he opens the kitchen, he's the minna of the zachen. In such a case, obviously, also push it because meat you have 2 chesumas. The meat itself has to have a choisem, but together you have to have also a lack. In such a case, but now the yid opens it, but now he's not there constantly. If a person is a yoytze van echnes, that's also fine. What does it mean yoytze van echnes? Zoeken the poskem shir mil. People have a count has to be half an hour. The poskem zoeken shir mil. Shir mil is or 80 minutes, 22 minutes, 24 minutes. You want the alter rebbe shita 24 minutes. You have to come in within 24 minutes. And that's called yoytze van echnes. Because now the goy sees the yid comes constantly in, and he's afraid to do stuff. That is a heter. Or if you leave and you don't tell him you leave, you left, you don't tell him, you tell him I'm coming back soon. And then even if you left for, let's say, for instance, for an hour, but he doesn't know, so therefore he is always afraid, maybe now he's going to jump in, now he's going to pop in. That's also a heter. That means other yoytze van echnes, or, and there's also lachas madaf using. Sometimes a meshgich, which is a meshgich timidi, but he has to go in the men's room. He has to go, daven sometimes, davening it will be more than 24 minutes. If you don't tell him that I'm leaving now for half an hour, and if you don't tell him that and he doesn't know, or the she doesn't know that you leave, that is a thing which you could deal with. For instance, I'm going to give you an example. You have a cleaning lady at home. You have a cleaning lady at home. She's cleaning, she's doing, she's making, she's preparing, whatever she's doing. You need to go to the grocery, 10 minutes, it's not a problem. But what if you have to go for an hour? You have a doctor's appointment, you have to go for an hour. But you don't tell for the goiter, I'm going for an hour. You tell for the goiter, I'm coming right back. That is also considered the yoytze van echnes because she has afraid constantly any minute you're going to come. But she usually what?
She usually not coming in 5 minutes.
She might come in 50 minutes. She doesn't know where she went.
How much time is considered not?
Yoytze van echnes is if she doesn't know, she is constantly under the impression. Now she's coming.
And you do nechus with shir mil. Don't come back in 18 minutes. Is it okay?
If you what?
You tell him I'm coming back.
If he knows that you are coming in every 20 minutes, you are back. That's considered Yotze Vanechnas.
Even if she knows.
Even if, yeah, noch mal.
You're not going to be able to.
Yeah, if a person knows the mashgiach went out now, and he goes in the men's room. He knows, he goes in the men's room. It takes a few minutes. It's in the shtuser.
If you go out, she doesn't even know that you left.
That's avada git. Avada. That's the best thing. Yeah. That's considered Yotze Vanechnas, and that is a solution. So this is what I'm saying a lot of times for people. You have a clinic lady at home. Don't tell them when you're going to go, when you're leaving. Telling them I'm going to be right away. Or speak out, she doesn't even know. But there's one problem with this. If she is in a place but she sees the window when your car is there or not, or she's going to see when you're coming in, she's going to see, or there's a closed circuit, a house has a closed circuit that she sees anybody who comes in the front door, all these kind of things, you lose this heter. Because she will constantly see what's going on. She is cleaning the dining room. There's a big window over there. She looks out of the window. She sees constantly what's going on. In such a case, she sees what's going on. If you could sneak in from the back, that's something else. But so we have to understand, everything has to make sense. The D'kingsטאן is the goy should not know that there is time now when I can do whatever I want. And nobody sees, and nobody looks, and nobody will hold me accountable. The same thing will be if you have a closed circuit TV in the kitchen, which I say for people who have a nanny or have a constantly on a daily basis a goita, put in a closed circuit TV. So then, or at least put in demo a closed circuit TV, and she's afraid that you might see something. That's something else. But don't people leave their nanny, people leave their non-Jewish cleaning ladies days without pikuach. There are people who go for vacation and they go to stay at home. And I'm telling you, your whole house is treif. It's also lalucha, by the way. It's also lalucha. It's a ganze shal nachronim if you don't have to kasha all the kailim. All the kailim you might have to kasha, and if it's klacheres, you have a problem. Why? Because she stayed over there at home. She's watching the kids, but she does whatever you want. So automatically, she tries the kailim. If you have a goita, you're there, and you step out for a little bit, even if you step out a little bit more and you don't tell her, and she doesn't know that you stepped out a long time, okay, this is okay, api halacha. But you leave them, she knows people work all day and have goitas coming in. I have to leave to work, and my goita, she comes 11 o'clock. Oh, wait, what do you mean? The tafas dan host. By the way, on Calvo, my mama Mizgir, goitas bechlal do whatever they want, and even they have no access to kitchens, they do whatever they want. It's you can't trust them. An Calvo, before Pesach, posted on the Anash WhatsApp group. I don't know from where he got it. Looks like from some kind of a group. Somebody is in a group of the goitas, the Mexican goitas, the non-Jewish clinic ladies, and he followed. It's in Spanish. I couldn't understand it, but somebody who understands Spanish knows. And over there they write, "I work by Yiddish lady, and I especially put in milk in the milk." I know they had a chat for themselves. What? They were bragging that, and it's true. Goitas do whatever you want. Shomrim in Williamsburg gave out 2 or 3 videos which I saw, which the goit takes out from their packages. They put it in the microwave. They cook stuff. They put in milk in it. Then they clean it. Nobody should see. You cannot trust a goita b'chalal. But if a goita stays alone, which people do it constantly, stay alone a whole day, or even not a whole day, and she knows that nobody is for the next couple hours over here, you have a big problem with your food, which you left at home. You have a big problem with the kaila. Now, food we can still say if it has a koisam, you can still see the kosher food, you can still see it's frozen in the refrigerator. But when it comes to kailam, you don't know. You know what they did with those. Cameras is not a complete view, but hastig with syphilis because there's such thing as a mirsas. Now, if you would have have Chinese clinic ladies, I wouldn't trust them at all, or Arabs, because I brought before from Pri Chudash, Pritoya, that you cannot trust them because they can do whatever they can do, But if you have
you said if you can see that your car cars coming before? How much before? They always gonna hear the car pull up.
What?
How much? You said that if you could see out the window that your car is coming.
You see the car is not there, and they can see that you come again. So they have, it's always
Time, always gonna hear the car pull up.
3 minutes till they come in. 3 minutes till they come in. So they can always do things. Even, they can do what if they have notice beforehand what's going on. They're
I
safe.
think to take the milk poured in. And
Yeah, exactly. Takes half a minute.
You can't leave. You tell them, I'm going.
The word-
I'm coming right away.
Nein, aber so Chazal gesucht, als wenn es ist Joitze von Nechnes, ich habe kein Problem. Now, Joitze von Nechnes, she could come back.
No one goes out for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
There are, by the way, there's a lot of people who want to train the Goitas, which go out and they come back right away. Especially, they say I'm coming back in 15, 20 minutes, and they come back 2 minutes later. Taket zivaz for the Goita, I can always come back. This is a heilig from the ehrliche Menschen, davon zelf zu tun.
I mean, most houses, they have windows all over. They can, even if they're supposedly cleaning this room, that room, they can always be seeing what's happening.
Yeah, it's true, but not necessarily there. If they,
Yiddish neighbors, you can look in the window.
The what?
If Yiddish neighbors, they can see left to the kitchen. I went into the kitchen.
If they can see, but he knows what to look. If you tell him that he should look in, yes.
No, but they know.
But the guy doesn't know. The guy doesn't know. Anachram.
So you're saying basically in the suburbs where you have houses that have windows on all sides and they can always see them.
And it's opened, and it's open, and they can see out. Then has a bit of problem with it. Yeah.
If you have workers that are coming to fix something,
And you're alone.
and you leave for
For a few minutes, it's no problem. But if you say I'm leaving for 3 hours,
even though they have no business.
no business. I go nochmal. It's not with business. The goy has no business being in the kitchen. If you told him 577 times, kitchen is off limits. She has no business being off limits. Dieselbe Sache goy. Chazal haben nicht gemacht die Sachen. As you left the goy in the house, he can do whatever he wants. It's a chashash.
You just think to trust the guy.
No true is just a goy.
If you leave and you don't tell her, how much time do you have?
What?
How much time do you have?
As you have a long time, because she's constantly afraid that maybe he's going to come back. Now this has one big thing which I want to make clear. There are people who the goyim know exactly when they leave. They're going to know exactly when they leave. You know, the chef, they know exactly when he takes his jacket, or they know. So he could tell 100 times for the goyim, I'm coming back soon. They know exactly that they're not coming back. Which ich habe schon beigewohnt. That I'm asking where's the chef? He left for the day. He said left for the day. No, he said he's coming back. But we know. They have this emunah when he leaves. It's the problem. So again, the kiddush hadurim is she should have a matzah for mirzas. You might pop in every time, any minute, and she's in trouble in such a case. This is a. Noch a Sache heter, which we do in the poskim, which is called iman. Not all the poskim agree with it, but there are some poskim which will say a iman l'mayr cheskusa. That means if I send with DHL, if I send with UPS, yeah, in such a case, iman l'mayr cheskusa, that she should say that they will change. But again, one choisam. If you say with a company, and if they change something, you're going to sue them, they're going to pay whatever. In such a case, there's a klal in Chazal. It's Meir already? Iman l'mayr cheskusa. A person which is an iman, that's his business, and we use it a lot in halacha. Use it by doctors. What?
Those people are scared to lose a job. If they catch you, they'll lose a job.
A guy who works at the deli, hat nicht die Probleme. A business, a person which is a business person, he has that's a company. In such a case, Haman it's a chazuka as imal amayr chaskusa, and it's enough with one choisam. Who's the guy? Who's the mushroom the poskim bring? The mushroom the poskim bring is they used to put the cholent. Even my father's time used to tell me. Nobody had a oven with a big oven with for cholent. They used to have a baker, which everybody used to bring their cholent to the bakery. And it used to be all the way Shabbos till in the morning. Shabbos in the morning they used to take it. Yeah, also for example, they used to pay for him. Used to pay him to keep over there. That was a constant zach. Over here is the shala. Somebody put a cholent meat inside, and it says only one choisem. Is shzuk the prichudash? Such a case you could be Michael. Why? As a imel amayre cheskusa. He's going to change. He's going to start changing. People will stop paying him in using his service. He's going to lose his business. Such a case you could be prichudash. Kema Michael. So in the marshag nimmt es unlaluch. But lamaise there was. Ja, also machst ja, aber ein Häuser, mit ein Häuser. Aber la masse do a lot of cholkem of them Chachem Tzvi. He doesn't agree with this. He says there's no heter this at all. In B'maila, you cannot rely on such a thing. Now, if then in such a case of this cholent, b'chlal you have a heter of one choisem because you're taking it back. You don't sending it. You don't send meat from a deli. You put it over there, your part of chorum, you're taking it back. In such a case, if you remember, we spoke before that one choisim should be enough. So in any case, in such a case, it's okay. But he doesn't want to take except this concept of imel mayra cheskusa. But again, other poskim will do it. So again, when it comes to the evet, we are going to deal with these things and take all this and tie them together and try to make a heter if at least one has one choisim. Because remember, most of the time over here, you have to have one choisim. The story which I said that restaurant sent food, the caterer sent food for Simchas Torah, there was no choisim at all. So then most of the time you don't have. So therefore,
you need one choisim. I mean, so it needs two choisim needs one choisim.
One choisim.
What does it need one choisim?
The what?
So that needs one choisim.
We need some choisim. Ein choisim, aber das anders. Yeah. Yeah.
Does this have to apply like for another type of woman, like leaving a plumber in your house?
But what?
This had to leaving a woman.
Mayra cheskusa, no.
Let's say you have an appliance back in your house, it's in your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Would this had to apply?
You could use this at rochet. But you have other time. What does he gain? You know, for machlav. Again, what?
What's this one person in the microwave?
Oh, no, I'm not talking when he wants to have his food. Plumber is coming in, and so you have, whenever in such a case, you use one kind of a heter. You have cheskusi, you will add, or, but again, like chila, we have to have one choisim. Even when you have cheskusi, you have to have one choisim. So you won't too much apply, it's not so much, okay, wie ist the guy noch? Oh, so now, a lot of times, people are in Rahman Laslan, a base refuah, and there's a public refrigerator. Go and putting it in, or in Microsoft, or in a company, which you have Yiddish workers, Goyish workers, and everybody, there's a private refrigerator, which is for the employees that they should have, they bring their lunches, bring their stuff. In such a case, is this, or in jail, yeah? You have a person in jail, which you can have some food, I don't know if it's takable boil, if you can have, but you have a refrigerator, but you keep some kind of stuff. What is such a case? How do you do such a thing? Now, usually in such a case, the refrigerator is in a public place. That means it's a place which anybody could come in constantly. People go through in the hospital, yeah? People go through, it comes. So, how's the heter from Yotzim Anechnas? What? Yotzim Anechnas by Yid or the Mavel Arab? Mavel Arab is a what? Mavel Arab is a fill of Hagoyim, as I said. So you have a refrigerator which go and come constantly.
But here, someone takes food. How is Mavel Arab? He says my food.
No. Oh, I mean, but Mavel Arab is called. People will say what you do. That's the concept of Mavel Arab. So in such a case, you have Mavel Arab. People come and go. It is in a public place. Over here, in such a case, is do noch a better heter, even a better heter. What is your chashash? What was the chashash that you changed kosher and non-kosher meat? Why should it change? If he wants to steal, take the piece and guide the water. Take it. If it's, when I send someone, he has to deliver it, has to do something, it's a problem. He ate it, he wants to replace what he ate. But if you have a refrigerator, which is a public refrigerator, you have a public refrigerator, what's the chashash? Is machlif? It's not machlif. Why should it be machlif your dus? If he wants to eat, he eats it and guides water. Who keeps him from eating it? So B'maila, when it's noch a heter, an easier heter, in such a case, is not a problem. Now, when a person moves in a public refrigerator, if it's in a factory, if it's an office building, if it's in a hospital, if it's in a jail, whatever it is, he should make a choisam, one choisam. But Lamaisa, even if it didn't make a choisam, in such a case, Haman is the heter from eins Mavel Ram, but if it's not Mavel Ram, if it's not Nacht, that place is not Mavel Ram, Haman is a problem. If he wants, he can take it. Nothing helps me, makes me a problem to do it. So let's just sum up the Nekida. Nekida says what it means. Anything which is awesome in the Raisa, you have to have two chasumas in order it should be zambas. You should be able to send it or leave it at home like it. If it's a drabonan, you have to have one choisam. If you had the Raisa Gezach, you had one choisam, there are other ways in which you could deal with it. If you didn't have any choisam, you throw it away. Even a drabonan gezach. If you have no choisam, you throw it away.
So you said if one case that even with no choisam.
If it has a choisam, but we see it was tampered, in such a case. If we see it's tampered, then but if it has no choisam, then one case we said has no choisam if als by the Avid. Let's say als by the Avid.
If you say you can't.
You could. This is like Gdly. Yeah, that's like Gdly. Even you can have it. But he doesn't get anything. Yeah. But other than that, ein choisam we need to have. If no choisam, you throw it away. If it's have one choisam, it needs two choisams, or even it's tampered, then you have to reply. Mavel Rab is a heter. If he's has nothing to gain, Yoitzev Nechnas is going to be a heter. What else? You have cameras as a heter. You have to then apply and ask how you deal with it. Now, I had a shayla over here in Kingston. A company sent a box of fish. Yeah, a box of fish. With delivery, a fish store, a kosher fish store sent fish from Scranton, a lot of fish, and he put it in front of the house, on the front. He knocked on the door. Nobody's over there, and it was a yid. A yid put it. So he doesn't have so much b'chlal. A yid delivers, no problem. But what happened? The mistake was he knocked on the door and nobody was there. So what did he do? I'm not going to take it back to Scranton. He left it on the front door. So now, 50 minutes later, the couple comes home and sees that my fish was over there. So they call him, what's wrong? The answer, what is that? So he has all the time what's that in such a case? Some Aval This is up front in the front door. Everybody can see if something happens. So B'maila, I'm going to get Michael.
And I think is considered to be different now. So whoever's going to come and take it, maybe he's coming now.
No, nobody's going to take. Mavel Ram is an extra.
Let's just have a back door. I don't know. It's considered to be different.
Could also be he's afraid that somebody's going to come. He doesn't know when people will come. So again, let me just make it clear. Anytime when it comes a place, when you get something which has no choisam from a Jewish store, which needs a choisam, you send it back. You don't need it. If it has one choisam, I would advise send it back. Just the company should know that there's a problem. And if you want to eat it, then reply one of the Hatayrim, and if you have one of the Hatayrim, then you could use it good to go.